I'm Kevin Price with The Price of Business on Business Talk 1110 AM, Bloomberg's home in Houston. Glad to be here at SHRM Convention. That's the Society for Human Resources Management in Chicago, Illinois. Thanks for our friends at bestworkdata.com. They find the answers to your employee problems. Got the opportunity today, got a whole bag of candy, in fact. You guys have one of the more clever booths over at a booth called We Comply, and I made a great deal. I said, hey, I'll give you an interview for some candy, and delighted to do that. Got Andrew Rawson. I believe you're one of the founders of the company. Is that correct?
Yes.
And kind of give us your elevator speech. Give us the panoramic overview of We Comply.
So we help companies comply with a variety of federal and state regulations that they've just got to do. And we do this all with a simple online platform-independent product.
What I don't think people understand today, especially the smaller the business, the less they understand, is that it's not only the situation of not doing things wrong, but making sure you have always done things right. That's required, because you don't have to have done anything wrong in your business relations to have a complaint waged against you by a disgruntled employee for whatever reason, or any list of other things that can happen. And so what you do, in addition to educate and try to have the best business environment for a company, you also help create some mitigation from when those situations occur.
Well, right. We're really, at the end of the day, we're really about risk management. It's no different than, you can run a red light, and if you don't have a car accident, well, no harm, no foul. In compliance, there's very little chance of being audited, or there's not that great a chance of somebody filing a complaint. But when they do, the penalties can be huge. Just for failing to follow some of the EEOC rules on preventing discrimination and harassment, the difference between being found guilty in a trial of having records that you did all the compliance training, there can be a factor of 100. There can be a $10,000 settlement versus $1 million settlement. If the judge determines that it was an egregious violation of the training laws, that the penalties can just be huge. So it's really just about managing the risk. That for $10 or $20 per employee per year, you can save yourself potentially tens of millions of dollars.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about the size of companies that you take care of in terms of clients.
Well, we typically work with companies anywhere from about 250 up to about 5 or 10,000. We work with it's not so important how big a company is, but really how dispersed they are. Because we do everything over the web, and because we'll run on iPads, iPhones, and Android tablets, and really any other type of device, the biggest benefit people get is when they're really dispersed. So we work with a lot of retail companies, anyone that does business internationally, that has, we run in low bandwidth environments, so people that have a lot of remote locations, they all do, we provide a lot of value for that type of organization.
And those are the same numbers, the same, 200 or 250 plus. That's the same group that's under some of the most highest level scrutiny. Frankly, the larger the corporation is, there's just a measure there that's easy for the government to watch. And after a certain level, those companies have such huge attorney forces to help protect them, and in case something happens. In some ways, they're not even as much fun for the bureaucracies to harass. Those 200 plus employee groups, they're like a prime target, I would think, on the radar screen of a lot of government agencies.
Well, definitely. What we've seen the last couple of years is that the auditors have gotten much smarter, even to the point of, it used to be, the first generation was, can you prove that your employees took the training? And people delivered a sign-in sheet. Then it became, well, yeah, we know you trained them, but how do we know they didn't just sit there and text the whole time? So then we went to doing online assessments. Then they said, okay, that's great, you can prove they were there, you can prove they took the course, and they had an assessment, but can you deliver to us the actual training that they took 3 years ago? Now, no one keeps track of the PowerPoint presentation they used 3 years ago to train people. So now we have to keep our records all locked up and secure for every single person that we train, to make sure that we can have the actual source of what they were trained on, their assessment to prove they took it, and the record of when they logged in, when they logged out, and that's what we use to help defend our customers when they do get audited.
Is almost all of your training done online?
It virtually all is. We also provide, when I mentioned that we provide a lot of values for companies that are distributed, a lot of manufacturing companies that not everyone has an electronic device, we also provide. All of our training comes as PowerPoint slides with speaker notes. So we try to make sure that we synchronize all the training. That means that whether you deliver it in a classroom setting or whether they do it online, whether it's on an iPad or an iPhone, or their desktop PC, everyone gets the exact same training. So there's no question that you're providing equal training to everybody in the organization.
What would be a small company for you to work with?
Oh, we'll work with companies that have 20 or 30 people. And we frequently get them up and running in a week. We simply, customize the software with their logo and their opening screen and maybe a short video from someone in the company. And we launch the thing from our cloud-based servers.
And you're out of New Jersey.
We're in the company's headquartered in New Jersey, but we have locations in Chicago and Los Angeles. I work out of the Los Angeles office.
And you can help people anywhere, though.
Anywhere in the world.
Andrew Ross and his company is called We Comply, and helping businesses stay on the right side of the law and regulations when it comes to their employees. Let me ask you real quickly your website. People get more information.
WeComply.com.
That's pretty simple. Great name. WeComply.com. Want to encourage you to check them out. Thanks again to BestWorkData.com for the opportunity to interview you. Thanks. All right. Do want to remind you we will be adding content throughout this event here in Chicago. Keep an eye on it over there at priceofbusiness.com.